Welcome to Love You Longmont. Recently, our loved host, Linda Bond, moved to Texas to start a new beginning with some new adventures. We wish her the best of luck and want to sincerely thank her for all she's done to help create Love You Longmont with the Channel 8 team. My name is Beryl Durazo, and I am the new host for Love You Longmont. Today, we have an exciting program for you. We're going to highlight ArtWalk Longmont. I'd like to welcome Brandy Coons, Executive Director for ArtWalk, and Jean Ditzler, a board member for ArtWalk. Welcome, ladies.
Hello.
Hi. Brandy, could you give us some background on ArtWalk Longmont and a little bit about its mission?
Sure. So ArtWalk is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we exclusively produce 2 summer festival arts events in downtown Longmont. We work year-round to kind of prep the features of the events and build the partnerships that we have with local businesses and nonprofits and galleries and educational efforts.
Great. Tell me about your favorite part.
Oh my gosh. I would say my favorite part is kind of that magical moment when the streets are full and you realize that our entire community has come together to make this event happen for promoting the arts and each other.
Great. So I know you have live artists that work on site during ArtWalk. Can
Yes.
you tell us what that looks like a little bit?
Yeah, so we call them artists in action, and they essentially have space on the street to demonstrate their process. And I guess we'll be talking to Janelle a little bit about her doing that. Artists in action sign up either as individual artists or in partnership with small businesses, local businesses downtown.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we got to do a studio visit with one of the ArtWalk artists, Camber Sokolsky, and we'll go to that now. We're here with Camber Sokolsky with Elemental Designs. We're excited to be here, Camber.
Thank you. So this is my studio. I'm going to walk you through what I do here. I've been a participant in ArtWalk the last couple years and really excited about being part of the Longmont artistic community. So this is my studio. I also teach blacksmithing. I'm working on a couple projects right now. A lot of people don't understand what modern architectural blacksmithing is. I get asked this a lot. Can you shoe my horse? Not so much. It's really about just shaping and molding the metal to do things. It could be something structural. It could be something as delicate as a flower. Right now I'm working on a project for a railing. I'm working on several projects. It's not unusual for me at any given time. And this is some decorative elements that are going on a full-size exterior railing. So I'm creating the steel to make it look like branches. So here's an outtake I've done in the past. It's with a rust finish. I'm about to demonstrate how I make these leaves. And what I wanted to talk about too is like what people don't often understand, that in blacksmithing, metal can be like one of the most forgiving materials that you can work with. This is plasticine, and it basically behaves exactly the way the steel does at critical temperature. I'm bringing it up to that critical temperature, which is kind of like, I call it day glow orange, but it'll behave exactly the same way. So whatever I do here, I'm going to be able to do that in steel, which is I'm going to neck this down and create a leaf shape. Sometimes the clay behaves even worse than the steel, especially when it's cold. Now this is a power hammer, which a lot of blacksmiths use. This is a 50-pounder. It was sold to, I did the research on it, to a farmer here in Longmont in 1936, and I put a motor on it and kind of tripped it up. It does exactly the same thing that a hammer and anvil does. I could do all my work here, and I do a significant amount of work here, but in order to keep up with the times and be able to keep prices going, I've got to be able to use something that works a little faster. So I'm actually going to do the demonstration. Part of my demonstration will be done here, and the rest of it will finish out here. So it's a big old bad boy from 1936, but it still does the trick. So this hammer's doing exactly what I'm doing here, just faster. And on its own. So I might have hundreds of these in a project, and I do right now. Sometimes I take it over here, give it a little life. And then I would just cut that off and cut that off here at the Hardy with my traditional saw. Just put a little form in there. Cut this off old school style. I got a little leaf that was going to go onto this railing.
Welcome back. That was a really amazing studio visit with Camber Sokolsky. Brandy, could you tell us a little bit more about Camber's work?
So Camber is an artist who works in metal. She also works out of her studio, which we saw, and she teaches classes at Tanker Mill in Longmont as well. So she helps to manage their ironworks space,
Great.
which is fantastic. So if you'd like to take a class with Camber, Tanker Mill is the place to go.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jean, I hear you have an amazing experience to share with us about your first experience at ArtWalk. Could you tell us a little more?
Yeah, so if people haven't ever been to an ArtWalk, it's been around a pretty long time. My first ArtWalk was 18 years ago, and my husband and I had come to Colorado to look for jobs, and we had gotten some prospects, and we were like, okay, where are we going to live if we move out here? And we had gone all up and down the Front Range, and everything was nice, but nothing really felt like home yet. And there just so happened to be an ArtWalk in Longmont at the time. And so we went downtown and walked around, and we stopped at what is now Breakers, but it was a carpet store at the time that had an art installation inside, and the artist was there. And it's a sweet woman, and she just talked about how much she loved living in Longmont and how vibrant the arts community was. And we both had art backgrounds, so we just loved it. And then the street was closed. We were outside walking around, and it was the first time we had gotten a feeling of even though Longmont's a larger city in Colorado, that it really has like a hometown, downtown feel and a sense of community and a vibrant arts community. And we were walking down the street, and then this barbershop quartet started singing. And we just turned to each other, and we were like, this is where we want to live. This is where we want to build a life. So it was really interesting to just this past year be asked to be on the board. And I was like 100% yes, this is something that it just makes Longmont an amazing town and just fosters everything that's really wonderful about our community. Just it being such a little community town, like a small town kind of feel, even though we are growing and growing and growing, and we certainly have grown in the past 18 years, but it still feels very quaint and sweet and lovely and connected.
Yeah, gives you that chance to just walk up and talk to anybody because everybody's doing their thing in the street.
So have you volunteered, obviously, before becoming a board member?
I did a little bit, yeah. We did a little bit of activities work.
Oh yeah.
Before, yeah.
She brought her kids and helped us paint the stands for a plexiglass interactive activity that we'll have at ArtWalk, which was wonderful. And that's an opportunity open to anyone who wants to help out. Those meetings and gatherings are open to the community.
When's your next one?
Oh my gosh, good question. Do you remember? We put it on the calendar for like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah. Awesome. Great.
If you want to join us, you can email me at info@artwalklongmont.org, and I'll have that info.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, Brandy, let's talk a little bit about business partnerships. We kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, but how does ArtWalk and businesses and artists work together, and what does that look like in downtown Longmont?
Yeah, so ArtWalk happens in large part due to the support of our small businesses and the small business owners who invest in it. And they invest not only a little bit of money, so everyone on the ArtWalk map is a financial sponsor for the event, but they also help coordinate interactive activities and special features that tie into either what they do or bring in an artist they have a relationship with. And so our business community really helps make that happen by doing the legwork and the support for it. So, yeah.
Great. Now, day of, how many volunteers do you have to help make that happen?
50 at least.
And you're always looking for more, I assume?
Always looking for more. So, heads up, we are partnering with the Firehouse Art Center to coordinate our volunteer efforts, just to provide the best resources we can to those people who are willing to give us their time. Our next volunteer gathering at the Firehouse for information is on May 2nd at 6 p.m.
Awesome. And give us the 2 dates for ArtWalk this year.
May 19th and September 15th in downtown Longmont from 4 to 8 p.m.
Awesome. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining us. We really appreciate it. We are going to go now to Janelle DeBray to see a little bit of a demo. Here we go. And now we're here with Janelle DeBray, a watercolor artist. How's it going, Janelle?
It's good. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what we'll be working on.
So, as you said, I am a watercolor artist. It's been my passion for some time. The reason I like working with it is because water by itself is so fluid and so flexible, and I feel like half the time I'm painting, I'm just playing with water.
Awesome.
So normally when I do these live paintings, I do something quite simple. Today I'm just going to create kind of an abstract flower.
Awesome.
And kind of play with the gravity of how the water is working here, and we'll see how it turns out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So do you do a lot with ArtWalk, or is this going to be your first time having...
Yeah, I'm so excited. This is my first time. I've lived here for about 4 years and always enjoyed it from just a spectator. And then when I really embarked on my career as an artist, I was so excited just to be a part of this now. So yeah, and I'm partnering with Simply Bulk Market downtown on Main Street. So you'll be able to find me there on both of the art walks.
So how do you know Simply Bulk?
So Heidi and Devin have been friends of mine for quite some time, and we actually worked together in our past life. Well, my past life, I should say. And then after they were the owners of Simply Bulk, they kind of came to me and said, you know, kind of that relationship was already built. Mm-hmm. And so for us, it was just very organic and natural to partner up. And they have been art advocates for so long. So it's exciting for me to be a part of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What is their favorite part about ArtWalk?
I don't want to speak necessarily for them, but I would assume it's just when all the artists come together, especially with something like this, I mean, the energy that's created around that is just, it's contagious. So that's my answer. Awesome. But yeah.
Well, what other pieces of ArtWalk do you enjoy? I hear there's music.
Yeah, so apparently there's going to be, is it 3 stages of music?
Great.
So I believe on every corner they're going to find something, if not interactive, something to listen to, something to watch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So will you be doing live watercolor while you're there? Awesome.
I will. Hopefully, if weather permitting, I'll be outside. If not, then I'll definitely be inside. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have a plan of what you want to do while you're on the street?
Well, I do want to make it accessible for kids to paint as well. It's so fun to see their eyes light up when they get to move the water about and use the gravity and not necessarily color in between the lines. And so you don't necessarily have to do that with watercolor, which is really fun for kids and adults.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, what else do you do in the community? I hear you have some classes that you do sometimes. Can you tell us a little bit about that work?
Sure. So I do classes with both adults and kids, and the name of that class is actually Playing with Water, because on a fundamental level, that's what we're doing. During that class, we talk about, how we can make it abstract or get some nature involved. There's other tools in watercolor like adding salt or alcohol or even sometimes coffee to the painting itself. And that's always a joy for people to see.
Well, what are you doing with that there?
Well, I'm just kind of seeing where this is going. I started, like I said, this is going to be very abstract. But I really like using, you'll see in a lot of my paintings, I really use gravity to just pull down that water and see where the water is going to go. And then after that, I realize what the painting's going to be. Not always do I know right away. Right. So similar to one of the paintings that we have behind us, this flower was made very vertically, and I just watched where the water was going, and I said, oh, it could be a flower. So just added more detail to that, and a lot of creativity just starts flowing. Yeah, awesome. That's a good word for it. Yeah.
Do you have a website?
I do. It is my name, JanelleDebray.com. Okay. JanelleDebray.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today.
Of course.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we really want to thank you for bringing your pieces into the studio. Could you tell us the names of the pieces if they have them?
Yeah, of course. So actually, I'll start over here. This guy is called Captain My Captain. A lot of people said it reminded them of some ocean, but again, everybody's a little bit different. This is Morning Glory, and the one next to it, if you can see, it is an abstract piece, but it is definitely created from the mountains here in Colorado that really inspire me. Awesome. So, yeah.
Well, and you also have a few sponsors to thank for ArtWalk, is that correct?
We do.
Awesome.
Yeah, we really want to thank SCFD, LDDA, and Premier Members Credit Union for their sponsorship.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again for joining us,
course.
And thank you for sharing your pieces with us.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Love You Longmont.